It's time for The King and the Cop with the legendary former MLB great Jim Leyritz. And with 100 years of law enforcement in his blood, Tommy Sedner. It's all things sports, plus cop talk, current events, entertainment, and more. Joined by America's favorite Jersey girl, Robin DeLory. It's The King and the Cop.
Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket. Welcome back. That same old place that you laughed about. Well, the names have all changed since you hung around. But those
We're on a new
dreams
time,
have
and yeah,
faded,
miss everybody. Celebrating the holidays. Much need a break for all three of us. Hello, Mr. Leyritz. How are you, sir?
What's happening, guys? How y'all doing?
Good. Good to be back. You know, the lunch with the King and the Cop was good, but I like this 10 o'clock hour because we get to have a little dinner and for you, and then we get you on the air, and then we get to do a little show ourselves here before we go to the news. And my dear, you're all dressed up, and where were you tonight?
I'm exhausted.
Why?
Exhausted. I helped to cast
Yeah.
a musical at an unbelievable high school in Hudson County called Hudson Tech.
And that's in New Jersey?
It is Secaucus. Secaucus.
Secaucus.
And guys, I can't even explain to you. They're doing Chicago, and I know you're both familiar with that show.
Yeah.
Are you familiar? I know
Yeah,
Jimmy's
a big theater guy.
I know he is, but are you?
Yeah,
Did you see
I've seen
Chicago?
Chicago. Yeah.
So anyway, this
what's
is
her name? Renee. She was the lead part. Renee Zellweger.
That's the movie. But BB North and Anne Ranking,
Yeah.
they were in the Broadway revival, actually, because it's an old Broadway show, actually. But I don't know. I know that things are a little different out in California. I know you have a lot more junior colleges, like what do you call them? JUCOs out there. But here in New Jersey, each county has a technical high school, and they have become very prestigious to get into. You have to audition, or you have to have great grades. Like, say you want to be, you want to major in science, or, it's a no joke.
In a Votech?
In a Votech.
Back in my day, they sent you to Votech, Jimmy, if you were one fry short of a Happy Meal.
No joke. We were talking about that today. But this particular, in this day and age, these technical high schools, they're no joke. And so you have to audition to be in the musical theater program. Guys, when I tell you the talent that I saw tonight with 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old kids, blew me away. And it was such a hard job because, especially coming from the fact that I have children their age, it's like you want to give them all so much credit for just showing up and being there. And it was a really hard thing to do. But that show is going to be amazing, and I wish them so much luck, and I'm so happy that I was a part of putting the show together, the cast together. I'm not putting the show together unless he wants my help. But
what did you do today, Mr. Leyritz, in the sunny California? Golf, I'm assuming, or what?
Well, unfortunately, yesterday I took my wife out to play 9 holes, and on about the 6th hole, I had a little misstep on the curb, and I'm not sure if we dislocated. We didn't break it, but not sure I either hyperextended or dislocated my ankle. And I spent the whole day today icing and keeping it up and hoping that it'll be better before.
There goes your baseball career.
My golf career.
Your golf career. I'll tell you what, you're getting old, man. My God, you've been in a DL all year.
I'm telling you, my wife, even when it happened, she looked at me, she goes, "You have to be kidding."
Right.
Yeah, she goes, "A golf course has gotten you twice now."
That's coming from the man that can't stand up after he does an hour show.
Exactly.
I spent the hour today, Jimmy, with an old friend of ours from Newark who's now in Maplewood, Michael Lamont. And I went Christmas shopping. He makes the best suits.
Did you get anything for me?
bow ties. I went in there for everybody else, and I came out with nothing but stuff for me.
Shocking.
But my man Michael makes the best ties and bow ties, and it was good to see him. I haven't seen him in a long time, and he has
Oh, just what you need, Tommy.
he has this great.
More socks.
These aren't socks. See,
Oh.
this is why, Jimmy.
Yeah, that's why you have to go shopping.
Right. This is a tie, and he has these beautiful wool ties.
Oh,
This he gave to me as a gift. This beautiful Christmas tree
nice.
today. Yeah. But it was good to see Michael, and he hooked me up as always. And I'll be visiting him in the very near future. Jimmy,
Well, this
the
is
Gardens. That's a pocket square. The Garden State is freezing as usual,
disgusting.
and
Yeah, I know.
I was thinking about coming out to make a visit at the winter meetings. Are you going down there?
Well, unfortunately, I'm actually coming there.
When?
I am flying out. I'm taking the red eye out on the 5th. I literally get in the morning of the 6th. I have an appearance at the Nassau Coliseum the night of the 6th at the hockey game for the Islanders.
Nice.
And then I get on a plane at 6 a.m. the next morning, and I'm heading back to California.
Wow.
Oh Lord,
Let's
But-
talk.
take me with you.
But even better, then on the next day, I'm getting back on a plane again, and I'm going back to New York for some Christmas parties for
Why
the
don't you
Atlantic
stay here
IT
then?
company. What's that?
Why don't you just stay?
Because I got to come home and get my wife because she's coming with me.
Oh, okay.
I don't want her having to fly by herself.
Yeah.
Michael's weighing in here on the old Facebook Live. Tommy, Michael, thank you for hooking me up, brother. It was great to see you. You're a wonderful man, and I always enjoy wearing what you make. And I'll see you this week. I'm looking forward to it. My wife, I don't even want to tell her that I'm getting pinned up for some jackets or suits. I don't like I need them. But
Can I get pinned up for a suit?
you probably could.
Why not?
He'll make you anything.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. Yeah.
Like a little Christmas
That-
jacket?
For this when you're singing on the
No,
show.
like just Christmas blazer.
Michael, can you hook my wife up, please, for a Christmas blazer? Hey, Jimmy,
If it
speak.
wasn't for me, you wouldn't even be near Melbourne right now.
All right. All right. You're
Well, you
right.
complain about living up here,
Well,
but now
but-
all of a sudden Michael is
No,
now
well,
15,
But he
10
had
minutes away
he
from
had a
you.
store in Newark that Jimmy and I and we all the Bears we used to go to. So yeah. Sorry, you're not.
Are
getting
you
credit.
two-timing my Carlos?
Oh, my man Carlos from Brantford Place. No, it was I like to spread the what do they call it, the wealth around in Newark
All
back
right.
in the day. Hey,
Oh, see, he said yes. We're making suits for women as well. What's the name of the store and what's the address
I have
so we can share it with An and Jay?
it is right here, and you can read the address right on the bag.
746 Prospect Street in Maplewood.
Michael,
Michael,
it might
there you go.
be a new address if I'm wrong with that. Maybe I'm wrong with that address. I'm not sure. But anyway, Jimmy, I got to ask you a question. The rumors and people are waiting with bated breath. Mr. Aaron Judge, what's the deal with Aaron Judge? I mean, I'm hearing anywhere from $320 million for 8 years to some people are saying he's touching $400 million. You've discussed numerous times on the show about him. They signed him for a lengthy contract, and you know, did you just cut Jimmy off? I
No,
can't
you're
hear.
talking.
Oh, there he is. And do you think he gets anywhere near 400 million? Do the Giants outbid no matter what, or is this all just a little bit of a game to come back to the Bronx?
Yeah, no, listen, I think the Yankees did the right thing. They said, okay, listen, you know, we'll go up to 37.5 million per year, you know, 300 million for 8 years. I think they know that the Giants are probably going to counter that and maybe try to get him close to 40 million. And at the end of the day, the Yankees are going to come in and go, okay, 8 years, 330, let's go. You're the captain. You're going to be here the rest of your career. And, you know, you'll make more money in New York off the field than you were on the field. And you'll be a Yankee for life, which is what you've always said you've wanted to be. And with the big C on your uniform, you'll be one of what, 7 or 8 captains ever in Yankee history.
Yep.
So I think that happens. But, you know, stranger things have happened.
Yeah.
And I think in this particular,
Cash.
yeah,
Yeah, the C stands for cash, not captain.
Well, but I do think if
Very
he
smart.
looks at guys like Cano and a few other guys that left for greener pastures, they weren't so much green
No,
when they got done with it.
no,
So
and they're never going to be really recognized as a Yankee as a result of leaving, and that's
exactly,
when you're
exactly.
making that kind of money, I guess they always say don't count other people's money. Does it really make that much more of a difference when you're making 35, 38 million? But if he gets to 37.5, I guess that puts him just a notch above the great New Jersey boy, Mr. Michael.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Trout.
Mike Trout. Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. And that contract that they offered him, just the initial contract, does give him roughly around 1.5 million more per
Yeah.
year than Trout's deal. So they've matched that. And again, it's not the end of all this, because I do think San Francisco, or maybe even a mystery team, might jump in with 320.
So the Mets
But
are out.
The Mets are out though.
according to what I heard through my sources, that Steve Cohen said he does not want to get involved, that Aaron Judge to him is a Yankee and he should stay in that side of New York. And, they'll do their thing and pick up the people that they have to pick up.
What about DeGrom on the other side for our Met fans here in New Jersey? What's it's Texas, I heard, but then people are confident he's coming back to be a Met forever.
Yeah, listen, it's one of those things that you can't picture someone that's been with the organization as long as he has the history that he does with the Mets, that he may leave, but it does happen. It's just like Justin Verlander just won a World Series with the Astros, and there's a question whether or not he's coming back.
Yeah,
Freddie Freeman,
right. Yeah,
Freddie Freeman won a World Series with the Atlanta Braves, and he didn't come back. Now, there has been some regret over that, and that's something that Aaron Judge has to also look at. Hey, look what Freddie Freeman did.
yeah.
He left, but even though their team won 111 games, they didn't get to the World Series. And you know what? There has been some publicity that says Freddie Freeman is still very unhappy that he left the Atlanta Braves. So,
well, what was more emotional than when he brought his son to the first Dodger Atlanta game, and the boy runs over to what's his name, the shortstop there? I'm drawing a blank.
Dabney.
You're right, Danby.
Dabney.
Yeah, and then it came out that his agents misled him as to the Braves, pitch. And anyway, before we continue with this, how was your Thanksgiving? Your mom come out?
Yeah, it was really great. The first time she's been out here since Austin graduated in 2013. Just because my dad wasn't able to travel, and now that he's gone and he passed away in June, she's able to travel herself. And it was great. My sister was awesome. She flew out here with her just to get her here.
Oh, nice.
Yep. And then my sister went on to Austin, Texas, to be with her son for Thanksgiving, and then met my mom on Saturday back at Dallas Fort Worth Airport to make sure she got on her flight and her connection back to Cincinnati. So it was a great Thanksgiving. It was the first time, like I said, since 2013, she came here to see the life that Michelle and I built with our boys, with our girls, and in our family out here. And she was very, very pleasantly surprised how well the boys were doing, but also how well the girls were doing as well.
That's cool. We had some great news over Thanksgiving week. Both of our mothers, as we get older, obviously your parents get older, and my dad and Robin's dad and your dad are gone, but we have our moms, and your mom got great news. She's been fighting cancer for God only knows how long. And her recent PET scan came back that it's continuing to shrink. So they're doing miracles there. And then my mom, the Irish rock of the family, 85 years old, has been going through 4 rounds of chemo, and finally went the other day. They wanted to get 6 or 7, and hers has been hugely successful. So she has also doesn't have to have any more chemo, and thank God for that. So
Those are some great Thanksgiving things, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, the timing was right. I mean, and both of our news came in a couple days apart. So yeah, I just wanted to hit that a little bit. I mean, we've been off for a couple weeks. We needed new rest. We wanted to switch over to this new time, so we're going to start enjoying the holiday season as it's.
You're cramping my style. I was supposed to be out with my friends tonight.
Where?
Where else?
We'll go.
The local haunt. The neighborhood haunt.
The neighborhood. Jimmy, where's your neighborhood place out there? I know in the city you got it. Where do you go there?
Out here in California, it's my couch.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Have you been watching any of the soccer?
Believe it or not, I got my Union Omaha shirt on,
Nice,
which is Gary Green, who's our buddy.
right?
He's the owner of the Omaha. It's not the FIFA or whatever it's called, but it's minor league soccer. Yeah, he's one of the owners. But yeah, it's my only soccer shirt I have in the entire house, so I had to pull it out because you know what? We got the big match on Saturday.
I know.
And, we'll see what happens with our USA team.
Well, it's. I just read so many stories about it for another show, but the money that's spent and the corruption that goes on within the organization for the World Cup, it's just craziness. But anyway, I want to say this: our Rangers, Mr. Leyritz, are not in first place because the Jersey Girls Devils are just lighting it up out there. I think they peeled off 14 in a row, and the Rangers went ahead early the other night, and the Devils came back like it was nothing and beat them 5-3. What are you thinking? The Devils just climbed right out of the basement to just playing some incredible hockey right now. So Jersey, the old Prue Center's hopping right now.
Yeah, it's one of those things that
from the Garden to come over to the Jersey side.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're 24 games in, so we got a long schedule ahead of us. But no, it's really great to see 3 of the New York, New Jersey, and Long Island teams in the top 6 teams of the NHL. What is it? The Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's great. I think it's about time that our East Coast hockey comes back.
Well, speaking of East Coast, it would be nice if our basketball team came back because the Knicks suck, and any high school team could beat them right now. But Brooklyn's starting to warm up with 7 in a row, I believe. But I can't get into the basketball this early, to be honest with you. I don't know that I get into the basketball at all. How about you?
Yeah,
I love watching basketball.
You never watched the game
The
in your life.
last 2 minutes.
Yeah, you're right. It's the greatest 2 minutes.
And I love going to the Seton Hall games at the Rock.
Yep.
Because I love spending time with my kid, one of the children.
What happened to the other one?
He doesn't like to go anywhere with me.
He doesn't, does he? Well,
No.
look at it this way: you save money.
I was promised a birthday present. Mom, your birthday present is I'll go out to lunch with you. That was 2 birthdays ago. And then last Christmas, I will go out to lunch with you. And that was last Christmas.
Well, maybe you should take him to a Giant
I can't
game.
believe I just said that on the air.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Maybe you should take him to a Giant.
Like, that's pathetic.
That's 18 years old. That's what that is, right?
No, there's no excuse. No.
At 18, Jimmy and I weren't even living at home. So, Jimmy, Giants, little reality check, man. A lot of injuries, but a little reality check.
What happened?
They're losing. They're starting to lose, and people are panicking.
They did. On Thanksgiving they lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, unfortunately, we're having a pretty good year, but the Eagles are 10-1.
I know.
Who would have expected that?
Everybody in South Jersey would have been expecting it,
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. And
we're never going to live this down.
Exactly. But listen, the bottom line is we're going on week 12 and maybe even week 13. I'm not sure if we've had a bye or not, but we're at least week 12, week 13. And we're still excited about Giants. We're still excited about Jets football, which I can tell you, TC, for at least the last 5 years, at this point, we weren't even thinking about watching a football game where it meant anything with those 2 teams.
No, we were
well,
talking
if there's
about.
any consolation, I'm not even thinking about watching a football game. I could care less.
No kidding. But we watched one on Thanksgiving with your son, Joey.
Just because my son was in the same room as me.
Right. How'd that work out for us?
He left. What happened?
When the
What was the play?
what-
Tell Jimmy what the play was.
I don't know, but the Cowboys went ahead, and Joey, you would have thought his head flew off his shoulders, and he was going nuts, screaming.
And you said something. You said something to him, and he walked away.
I don't know. I don't even know what I said. I obviously I love the Giants, but when I see him getting so mad, I root against the Giants.
I think you did something to egg him on a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great.
it was your fault.
I'm going to stay in New Jersey for a minute. Yeah, the Jets are hot. They made a major quarterback decision, and it worked out for them with flying colors. This kid from good old Utah, he's just a little immature and not ready yet, and all the veteran announcers and players didn't like the way he handled himself. And I was surprised at that because he's still a kid. He's a kid in the greatest city in the world, and he's in the limelight, and he's going to make mistakes on the field and off the field.
Who? Daniel Jones?
Daniel Jones is with the Giants. We're talking about the Jets now.
Oh, who?
Zach Wilson.
Zach
The
Wilson.
one with the hot wife?
Well, it's his girlfriend, and
Oh.
she's saying that because we run into him at the local pizzeria because he lives in the same town as us. But yeah, I just felt a little bad for him. But the Jets did need to make that move. Wouldn't you agree?
No, I think so too. I think it's they wanted to give him a chance. He's not quite ready yet, and it's going to take a couple more, maybe another year or two before he's really ready to learn that offense.
He was the hot mother too, right?
Is this? Yes, I guess you could refer to her.
But
as
I'm
a
just
hot
saying,
mother.
I'm putting my
You could also call her a beautiful-looking mother instead of hot mother, but that's fine.
No, but there was something about when
Yeah.
he was
Yeah,
drafted.
they were more focused on his mother.
Yeah. There was something on the television that everybody was like, she stole the show.
That's like Dustin Johnson. Every time he wins, the cameraman's following around his wife, Gretzky's daughter, who he's married to, Pauline.
Do you think Brady's gonna go back to that beautiful actress?
Bridget?
Yeah.
She's married.
Oh.
What about that, Jimmy? What do you think about Brady? His head's got to be scrambled up there. I mean, he just looks like he's his shoulders are slumped. He's not the same guy. And
Let's stop saying poor Brady. He probably had a few little friends along the way. Come on.
well, it appears that Mrs. Brady was messing around with the jujitsu instructor.
Sure, he went for a lot of massages.
You're rotten. You're rotten. Jimmy, anyway, that division is horrific. NFC East is the best, but that division, Tampa Bay, our old stopping grounds, is in first place with a losing record right now.
Yeah, 5-6, and they're leading their division. It's going to be one of those things that, again, as much as he's struggling, as much as he does look like he's old, I just never count Tom Brady out, man.
I agree with you.
It's one of those things that when you've done it so many times that most people say, oh, you just can't flip a switch when you get to the postseason or when you get to the playoffs. Unfortunately, Tom Brady has proven that I can flip that switch at halftime and change the outcome of a Super Bowl against the Atlanta Falcons. He's proven time and time again that he's really never out of it.
Well, Michael Lamont, our friend Michael, says I think he bit off more than he could chew coming out of his semi-retirement.
Yeah, I think I'd hate to see him not go out in a respectful way. That's the only thing. Like, I don't want to see him. Nobody wants to see him get hurt. But I don't know. Speaking of football,
Go Cowboys!
Yeah, Cowboys.
The only Cowboys we like are on Yellowstone.
That's it.
Do you watch Yellowstone, Jim?
And that has been a good first 2 episodes so far.
Don't tell her she binges. She doesn't watch it.
So
until the
I
end.
obviously watched the first and the second season, and I decided I'm going to just wait till it's all over so I can binge because I don't like waiting. Yeah, but it's a great show.
Yep, we just watched the second episode the other night, and we're still waiting on Ted Lasso, though. That's the one I really want to cover.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm watching now, Jimmy? It's
What's that?
old, but I've heard so much about it, so I gave it a try. Mad Men. Do you remember that? Remember that show? Yeah.
I remember that show. Yep.
John Hamm.
Yep.
You
John
know,
Hamm, yep.
and It's a great show.
John Hamm's a big baseball fan. He plays in celebrity softball games at the All-Stars.
Speaking of older people playing a younger sport, I have a great idea for and I'm positive somebody already thought of it. But did you ever see retired football players like the greats do a flag football game?
No.
Wouldn't that be funny? Like with and they run after each other and pull the flags off.
They're lucky they can walk across the field.
Come on, wouldn't you love to see that?
There's actually a flag football game they played during the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but it's Victoria's Secrets models.
Well, no, that's not tag.
No,
that's not flag football. That's actually a real football game. They wear shoulder pads and everything. No, they actually do play a flag football. Celebrity and old time players.
Come on.
Flag football game during the Super Bowl.
That must be
that would be hysterical. Like all the old like legends.
I gotta give a shout out right now for football. You know, obviously last year Michael Robin's son was one of the best players in New Jersey, and we went all the way to the state championship or semi-finals.
We got far,
but we got knocked out by Caldwell.
There was one more. We needed to win one more game to get to this date.
So my dear friend that I grew up with, Mario Venancio's son, goes to Rumson Fairhaven. And I'm going to bring up another subject before I get off of Rumson Fairhaven High School. And they are playing at Rutgers Stadium against Caldwell, the team we played for the championship. And my boy, Scotty, I know him since he's a baby. Mario's son is having an incredible run and scored the winning touchdown 2 weeks in a row to get him there. Of course, it's obviously his teammates, but Scotty happened to be afforded the credit of getting the winning touchdown.
Caldwell's going to be tough to beat, Tommy.
You know, well, we're beating him, and I'm going to the game and wearing my purple because Brett was a cheerleader and the captain of the golf team for Rumson Fairhaven.
I just want you to know I'm not going.
Yeah, okay, we won't miss you.
And speaking of football,
yeah,
I will be tied to the TV on Saturday as my TCU Horned Frogs, and my daughter will actually be going to the game at AT&T Stadium. And
where are they ranked right now?
They're ranked third.
They are, and people are arguing that they don't play anybody and they don't belong in the top four. What's your
They remind me of the Philadelphia Phillies.
Okay, that's fair.
They don't get a lot of respect because they're not the best team, but at the same time, every challenge that has been thrown at them this year, they have overcome it. And even this game against Kansas State, and Kansas State has 3 losses, they are still only a 1.5 point favorite, which I think is crazy. Now, I was at the Kansas State game this year during Parents Weekend, and one of the only reasons I do still think that we beat Kansas State is because we knocked their quarterback, Gabriel, out in the first quarter.
I remember that.
And he has come back since, and he is the reason that Kansas State's playing pretty well. That point scares me a little bit because he'll be healthy for this game. And if they don't knock him out, then things could change. But I'm hoping that they did say, some of the experts have said, even if TCU or even if Michigan or one of these teams gets beat in their division playoff, that it should not affect the ratings.
Well, Michigan looked really strong against Ohio State, so I would assume
they got Purdue.
Yeah.
So,
and on our end, Rutgers is just had a pathetic year. That's a strong word, but it's been pathetic. They're getting blown out by everybody, and it just makes you wonder if we're ever going to be able to be recognized as a football school. It's just not looking good. And Shiano's back, and of course they want him to create a miracle right away, but it's just not looking very good right now for Rutgers. Let's go to a quick commercial. I hope everybody's drinking their caffeine tonight. I'm sure we're entertaining enough that you don't need your caffeine or water, but we're drinking ours, and let's go to a little commercial for caffeine.
Caffeina. Boost, replenish, hydrate. Caffeina with your meeting, with a workout, on the go, to keep going, with a meal, with friends. To kickstart your day, Caffeina, Amazon's best-selling caffeine-infused spring water, 7+ pH balance, electrolyte enhanced. Taste pure spring water. Feel the charge.
I'm feeling a charge too, like you, Jimmy. I had a little shot of caffeine before. I've had a busy week traveling around and stuff, so I always like my caffeine. I don't drink it at night that much, but I need a little boost. You know, what do you do? What are you guys doing for the holidays or Christmas holidays? Are you home? Like at a certain point, you lock it down, or are you back and forth to New York?
Yeah, I mean, normally we my birthday is December 27th, so
Yep.
normally we take a little trip right after Christmas with our timeshare that we have, but unfortunately, we couldn't get the timeshare till after New Year's. So we're now leaving on December 31st to head to Hawaii for Kauai for New Year's, and for the first week of January, I'll be in Kauai celebrating my late birthday with Michelle, the girls, and of course her brother and his family. So,
Oh,
we,
nice.
Oh, how beautiful.
so
The most
we're
beautiful.
hoping we're hoping the eruption from the Big Island doesn't affect anything that we might be doing.
I just saw that last night.
What happened?
The
So in
volcano.
Mauna Lea or Mauna Lua, whatever it's called, the volcano that's been dormant for 40 something years has erupted, and it's fortunate because it's not really near anything that it could affect, but it's starting to get closer as the days go on to possibly affecting some of the local areas on the Big Island.
How do you even stop that? If you
You
find
can't.
You really
well,
can't.
you just evacuate, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's all you can do.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, they say it's a beautiful sight to see, but also very dangerous and can be very scary because it does move so quickly
Yeah.
at a temperature that's just that no one can withstand. So that's why you can't really stop it. But that's my plan. Our plan is to go to Hawaii, and and then I'm doing some things in the Dominican Republic as far as some building properties. So I'll have a busy December, January after Christmas.
That's our plan too. We're going to a place called Newark
There you go.
for the new year. We're gonna hit hobbies and get a club sandwich, and it's gonna be better than anything that you're gonna eat there in Hawaii. That meal is gonna be definitely better. And
Tommy,
then we're gonna hit like the Turtleback Zoo. There's still the light show. We're gonna freeze our ass off. Maybe get some Dunkin' Donuts hot chocolate. It's gonna be great.
so Tommy,
Yeah.
I can see she might be kidding on a square.
Oh yeah, exactly right. I will not be doing that. I don't know where she got that from. I am leaving for Miami Monday morning, so I'll be doing the show from there. And I am then on a couple other work projects like yourself. And you're back in the swing of things with your new theater and helping kids and teaching kids and singing. I love that you do that, but I just hate when they spill over into this house and decide to come every other night to work out. But that's blood, so that's okay. The house was filled with Christmas music last night being sung in the studio here, but it was very nice.
What is a home without music being played in it?
I don't know, but
Like before you
when I
came,
come home after 3 days, I figured I'd just roll up into the bed, but it didn't work that way.
no.
But when is Nicole singing?
Sunday for the Christmas tree lighting.
Nicole Canizzo.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Her dad is the chief of police in East Hanover, and he's got an amazing daughter with an amazing voice. Jimmy, you haven't gone to any Giant games, and that's unusual for you. Is it just the way the logistics and the schedule falls?
Yeah, I was lucky enough to get one in before I left for the
Oh,
baseball.
you did.
season.
I didn't know.
Yep, I got one in, and it was a victory. But yeah, I mean, I am going to be coming up. I think it's when is it? It's the 9th, 10th, and 11th, and we may take in a game on the 11th, depending on what happens.
Woo, it's gonna be cold.
That's one of the reasons why we may not take a game in.
Right.
What's that last game? I said, you couldn't pay me.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's the wind there. That's the
I
problem.
wouldn't even see Barry Manilow in that cold.
Oh, there's a good comparable. Unbelievable.
That's what we should do. We should go see Barry for my birthday.
Yeah, Tommy, I'm hoping that maybe I can watch the Giants play late into December, maybe January, and see where they wind up, because it's been a good year so far. But
You just need to go back to New York to your Ruggieri's or whatever it's called and watch it from there.
there you go.
They miss you. I'm sure they miss you.
They
Yes. Salugis.
You're all-
Salugis.
Your old team, the Dolphins, are still surprising a lot of people.
Yeah, 8-3, man. I mean, they're
Actually,
We're
the Bills on are now. I haven't watched it. I last I looked, it was 10-7. I saw it, but the Bills are struggling for a little bit. But speaking of bad weather, how about Buffalo getting 6 feet of snow?
Why
Couple
would
of-
anybody want to live there?
yeah, that
You
was
know,
crazy.
I decided that I like the new thing where football is being played Mondays and Thursdays and Sundays. Because if I
Yeah.
was a major football fan, it would be there's too many choice. There would be like you don't know what to do on a Sunday. You obviously stick with your favorite team, but now you can enjoy all these games.
No, it is a
You
good
know-
idea, but the red zone's key.
That I can't concentrate on. It freaks me out.
Yeah.
I want to commit to something and watch it. Like I don't. It's too much for me. You
Yeah,
know?
it really, honestly, yeah, it depends on your attention span. Some people like that quick stuff.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I'd rather watch an entire football game of my Giants than keep switching back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah.
But-
It's like Jam Blood.
I will say this: when I'm not able to sit down and watch a game because I've got my honeydews on Sunday to do,
Right. That's
to be able to have the red zone
that's
on.
pathetic. You can't even. You gotta do that stuff on Sunday. You can't do it. That's terrible.
I'm gonna make you a honey-do list.
I'll go right in the fireplace.
No,
Um.
who don't know that?
Anyway, excuse me there. I just had an itch in my eye. But Jimmy, what will the boys be home on the holidays, the Christmas holiday? Everybody get together at Christmas? They all come back?
Yep, yeah, we'll have all of them over here for Christmas dinner.
You do a grab bag?
Yeah, yep, yeah. So we do a couple of things. The good thing is, what you pray for, what we're hoping for, because it just happened at Thanksgiving. Even though my mother was here, unfortunately, we weren't able to have Michelle's brother and his family because they all had COVID.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and also Michelle's best friend and her daughter, who join us every year, they were sick and they couldn't come. So we're hoping by Christmas that everybody's healthy enough that we can all get together and have everybody here, because we usually have 19 to 21 people. And Michelle goes crazy. It's unbelievable. She brings out all the china, all the sterling. I mean, it's a big tradition for her to carry on what her mother used to do all the time.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, we have a great Christmas dinner. So we look forward to having the boys and the girls and everybody home. And then, like I said, after that, we wait another week and we go to Hawaii.
Nice. Speaking of boys, I gotta take a 10-second brag today. Maxwell is going to be 3 years old next week, and a couple weeks, and he's at preschool right now, which is the toughest thing to drop your 3-year-old, 4-year-old off, because somebody's always crying in that classroom, and then it becomes a chain reaction. So Sammy said, "Dad, you want to pick him up today, or I'll meet you there at 11:15?" And he's in the playground, and Jimmy, and as I'm walking up, he's like in the tower of the slides or whatever, and he yells, "Pop!" And I said, "Hey, Max," and he says to the girl, like, "That's my pop." Like, I wanted to cry, and he's introducing her from afar. I can't even hear him. Then I realized I didn't introduce myself to the teachers, and Sammy sends me a text. "You look like the stalker at the playground. Make sure you say you're Max's grandfather."
Some creepy old guys
Some
like
creepy old guy looking at all the kids. God forbid. But yeah, so they're getting bigger. We got Quinn's birthday and Max's birthday on the same day, basically coming up in 10 days. and we may not be able to do the show on the 12th of December, because on the 11th of December we have all 3 grandchildren sleeping over. That's a first. So they'll probably have us duct taped to the chair by the time they leave. They're characters. All 3 of them are. We went to watch them have a little photo shoot for Christmas. They couldn't sit still for 1 second. You had 2 smiling, the other one's running down in the backyard. Right? It was hysterical. There's something, but I don't know what to watch right now other than football, because I feel like it's too early for hockey. The Devils are hot, though. They are hot. But we almost went to a game the other night, but we didn't go. I asked Joe if he wanted to go. But you're right, 23, 24 games in, you can't fall that in love with anybody yet. It's a long season. Too long season.
Yeah. Listen, right now is a great time to be a sports fan, because you've got so many things happening. Towards the end of the month here, we'll start having all the NCAA bowl games.
Yep.
And of course the national championship. And then of course just everything else. I mean, the winter meetings are next weekend or this weekend. I think there's going to be some big news coming out of there.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. What do you think is going to be the earth-shattering news there?
Well, the rumor is Aaron Judge is going to announce that he signed with the Yankees during this weekend.
Right.
That's the rumor. That's what we hear. And you got to realize this: once he signs, once Trey Turner signs, because he's the number 1 shortstop that's out there. Once those 2 guys sign, it's a snowball effect.
Yeah.
And everybody else will start signing everybody, because now we'll know how much money we have. I mean, if the Giants are offering $320 million to Judge and they don't get him, where else are they going to send that money to? Because they're showing that they have it, and their fan base is going to expect them to use it. So we'll see what happens.
You think Turner goes to Philly?
That is the rumor. I mean, that's what they're saying. I mean, he's got some, I don't know, because if I'm a free agent and I know that Bryce Harper is going to be out to the All-Star break and he's their main guy, I don't know if I really want to sign with them.
Yeah.
That's a big loss for that team for 3.5, 4 months. So, I think that's a big question mark. I think, honestly, I've heard Texas is a big player this year in the winter meetings as far as free agency goes.
Hey, let me ask you this: your mentor, Donnie Mattingly, who became you the king, is now the bench coach in Toronto. Did that surprise you?
You know what? It didn't surprise me. It surprised me a little bit, because I spoke to Donnie at the Golden Gloves dinner, and he said he was really looking forward to getting home and enjoying a year off.
Right.
And that he wasn't even thinking about really, coaching this next year, that he wanted to take some time and really try to figure out what he really wanted to do. But he said, you know what? I'm never going to leave. So if the offer's right, I'll probably look into it. And he had a couple offers from other teams that didn't really tickle his fancy, and he didn't do anything with it. But this conversation that he had with Toronto kind of opened a door for him and said, you know what? I'm sure he's probably the most highly paid bench coach right now in Major League Baseball. And that's the only way they probably got him to come back. But I just think, Donnie's a lifer, man. Donnie loves the game. He loves to teach. And I just think this is a great opportunity for him to still be in the game, be in the AL East, even though the Yankees might not have wanted him.
Right.
Well,
that's my next question to you. I thought we would have seen him come to the Yankees as a bench coach or something, because he would be in the waiting for but that wouldn't be fair to Boone, but I thought I wouldn't have been surprised. What I was surprised that he didn't get any interview looks if he wanted to stay in the game for manager, because he's managed the last 10 years with the Dodgers and Marlins.
I mean, honestly, I think he really thought about just taking the year off, and something must have clicked with his conversation with both the GM and the manager of the Blue Jays, Schneider and those guys. It had to be something that was said that just he he got that feeling again that, hey, I want to keep doing this.
Yeah.
And by being a bench coach, you do keep yourself in the game. And if something, let's just say the Yankees do stink next year again, and they don't make the playoffs or they get knocked out, you're right there in line for an opportunity to come back to the Yankees next year.
Yeah, that old line, out of sight, out of mind. You're better off saying active, so
Exactly.
you're in people's grill.
What does a bench coach do? Just sit on the bench with people?
Yeah, that's what a bench coach. No, the bench coach actually runs the team.
He makes decisions on the lineup.
No, well, they collectively probably. The manager has the veto power, but the bench coach is.
Does he suggest like?
So what Joe Torre used to tell me about the greatest combination of bench coach and manager that I ever was a part of was Joe Torre and Don Zimmer. And what Torre used to tell me all the time, what was so great about Zimmer, is he would give him 10 different scenarios and ideas, and Joe would pick 3 or 4 of them. And when Joe was getting caught up in having to go to the mound or do something else, Zimmer was coming up with 3 or 4 more opportunities or possibilities that when Joe got back to the dugout, Zim said, hey, listen, we need to get so-and-so up in the bullpen because he's facing 3 guys. But after those 3 guys, this is who we should have ready.
Yeah,
Joe's not thinking about that because Joe's thinking about this pitcher that I'm bringing in the game. My job is to get him the confidence to get the next 3 hitters out. I'm not thinking past 3 hitters. I'm trying to get my guy ready. So when I get back to the bench, I look at my bench coach and goes, okay, now what? Now what do we think?
So it's like a co-pilot.
Yeah,
Exactly.
But the manager is living in a moment where the bench coach is preparing for after that moment.
Yeah.
So he's ready.
So obviously the bench coach doesn't have to be that that big word that we've been using a lot. And we don't even know what it means. What's that word we've been using? Analytics, something analytics.
Yeah. It's cyber.
Sabermetrics.
Yeah, that word. So obviously that's not the bench coach's job because Don Mattingly wouldn't know how to.
Yeah, he's into it. He had no choice but to
Like
learn it.
he'd be reading like an iPad and
Well, he
doing
was
all of that.
They all do now.
Like weird science. Like he's not going to do that. He doesn't need to do that. He's Don.
Well, no, here's the thing. They have a sabermetrics team that has all of that information already at their disposal. So yes, Don Mattingly as a bench coach would look at that and go, okay, this is what the statistics say. But guess what? I spoke to so-and-so in the bullpen. I know he's not feeling good today.
Right.
You're not going to use him today.
Right.
Despite what these numbers might tell me. And I think that's the difference in the way that maybe an older school guy like Don Mattingly would do, like Don Zimmer. Zimmer would say, I don't give a crap what the statistics tell me. I know this guy's heart, and I know I'm going to bring him in a situation that I think he can get us out of. So it really depends. That's really the job of the bench coach, is to know his personnel and to know who best he can offer the manager as alternatives to come into the game.
So these managers are actually they probably want like someone that they came up with as their bench coach, right? Like friends.
It used to be
Someone
that
they can trust, yes.
Yeah.
Someone they can trust
It
100%.
used to be that way. Hey, Jimmy, Mets been quiet. What do you think's going to happen there? Because they that division between Atlanta, the way Philly finished. I mean, Mets need to do a couple things also.
Well, and unfortunately, they're held at the mercy of, what DeGrom's going to do.
Yeah.
I mean, they've already talked behind the scenes with Bassett to bring Bassett back. And I know Bassett loved pitching in New York. So I do think there's a good chance he comes back. We're all sitting there waiting on bated breath on what DeGrom does. Because if DeGrom comes back, now you don't need to go get, a Verlander or somebody like that. Rondon's out there, and Rondon's high on everybody's list right now because he's a left-hander and he's, one of the premier pitchers in the game right now. So there's a couple guys out there that I'm sure are on the radar. They're really being held at the mercy of Jacob DeGrom. And when DeGrom finally decides what he's going to do. And I think you'll probably find that out also during these winter meetings.
What about our Jersey boy? And how about this? Because I don't remember the last time it's happened. A Jersey boy who's going through the system, Volpe right now, who played in Somerset last year in New Jersey, is earmarked to be the Yankee shortstop. So he grew up watching the Yankees. It was his favorite team, and now, but is he really going to be the starting shortstop? I don't know. Where else could they put him, Jimmy, if he's ready?
Well, I think one of the advantages that he will have is if they do sign Aaron Judge, all of that money is pretty much spent.
Yeah.
So we got to go with some younger talent. We got to go with some younger kids that aren't quite up there on the payroll yet. So I think he'll get every opportunity. It may be a situation where he goes into spring training and somehow, some way, like 1996, there's an injury that all of a sudden Volpe has to be the shortstop opening day. And maybe he does live up to the expectations of possibly being the next Derek Jeter prototype player that the Yankees are expecting him to be.
Yeah,
that remains to be seen. So
it's a cool story. They said the last time that something like that happened where the kid grew up, and it was Lee Mazzilli. He grew up and then he became a Met, and the New York favorite Lee Mazzilli. Rick Cerrone may argue that he was a Newark, New Jersey boy, and he lived the dream with the Yankees. So, but in today's world, everybody bounces around to different teams. Any surprise? Was it Abreu went to Houston? Were you surprised at that?
No, I wasn't. I'm surprised. I'm more surprised on where are they going to put him.
Right.
Gurriel just led the league in hitting, and I mean, unless there's some injury to Gurriel that maybe he has to become a DH next year, and that's why they've got Abreu. I don't know that internally, but that's the only thing that I can think of is that there is some type of injury with Gurriel that maybe his field time will be limited next year, where they do need somebody else to play first base. But yeah, I mean, that's a huge signing for the Astros. It's a way of telling a Verlander, some other free agents, hey, we just won a World Series, but we ain't stopping.
Right. Yeah. Miss New Jersey, what do you got coming up as far as we host the big Christmas Eve? You're 23 days out. You excited, or do you get stressed when you have to put a big spread out for 45 people or so?
I love it.
So your favorite time of the year?
Yeah, it's crazy. I love it.
You still say Merry Christmas?
Like, I say a lot of things.
Well, there's the argument now that you can't say Merry Christmas anymore,
Where? To who?
Well, the left, the liberals don't like Merry Christmas. It has to be Happy Holidays. You can't offend anybody.
Well, I got something to say to them. But you know what? If it's Christmas Eve and it's at my house, it's Merry Christmas.
It's Merry Christmas. Yeah.
And if you don't like it, I got some other choice words.
We have 4 Christmas trees in this house right now. A beautiful white tree with red roses. Robin did the whole house by herself. Maybe Grace, your little niece, if you will.
No, it was me.
It was all you. And we have a tree in the backyard now too.
Yep.
Nice.
Live tree on the deck. Looks nice. The house looks beautiful. I love the way the house looks at Christmas time.
Yeah, it looks so empty when it's over, right?
Yeah.
It looks like when all the decorations are put down.
Yes, my wife does an unbelievable job of getting. I can't believe and of course I have to climb up the attic to get everything. But
Who's Tommy?
when she transforms from Thanksgiving to Christmas, she goes all out, and it's you know what, you learn to just, it's a lot, but you learn, like you just said, Robin, when it's not there, you really learn to appreciate how much she does and how much you guys do to get the house ready for all those little things that we don't necessarily notice as
Why,
men.
thank you, Jimmy.
But I will tell you this, Tommy and I may not notice it to our wives, but our children will tell you they remember everything. And
Yeah.
my kids say it every year that the reason they love to come to our house for Christmas dinner and everything else is because the atmosphere and the way that everything is presented is part of the reason they love to come to the house. And
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we had the same. My mother went all out. It's our favorite time of the year. I still there was a tradition in our house. My father would always go to the cemetery and put the grave blankets on his parents. So before he died, he's like, make sure that you do that for me forever. Robin and I go now. We take one of the kids sometimes. My Brett came on, but then you have to go over. Tradition is you have to go to the gin mill across the street, and you got to have a shot in the beer, which puts hair on our chest. But we do it, and we have our cheeseburger.
there
But
you go.
but those things are part of family tradition, and I think they're cool, and I enjoy doing it. And I'll probably be doing it on Saturday because he made a point of telling me it's got to be the first Saturday of December, and obviously that's this Saturday. Last year I was late, and he was probably throwing darts at me in my sleep. Any other, the tradition now when you have grandchildren is we go to them, and the boys are getting older here, so all they want is money. They could care less. What you stay home? You have Christmas Eve and Christmas?
Yeah, my boys are different. The girls are with us full time, so they'll be with us Christmas Eve. The boys will be doing their thing because Austin's got his girlfriend he's been with for 5 years, so they do something with her family. We have a Christmas Eve tradition with one of Michelle's best friends. I think you met Debbie before, Debbie Verdi.
Sure.
But Debbie throws a big, huge party where we have, we play the numbers game for the gifts, with funny gifts and also serious gifts.
Right.
So we do that Christmas Eve, and the girls usually go with us. The boys do stuff with their other families, with their girlfriends, and then they usually come over Christmas morning. They open up presents, then they go spend time with the other families for like a breakfast or whatever, and then they come back to our house for dinner.
Yeah, the blended family life of Christmas, but
Yeah.
it works. It's good. I mean, it's still you hold on to each family holds on to their different traditions, and we get swamped because we have two of the grandkids' birthdays are in December, so you have birthdays and Christmas. So I'm running out of things to buy these guys already. I don't know what to buy them, but anything special you want, Miss Delory, for Christmas?
No,
Oh.
I have everything I need.
I don't know why the sarcasm tonight, but I'm sure you've been saving it up for 2 weeks or something.
No, I'm excited. How many people do we have? About 40?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's loud. It's loud and
Very nice.
Italian and fun.
No, that
Oh,
sounds-
you know what I did last year? Because people were getting a little too freaked out. Not too freaked out. We were getting a little scared about COVID again. I don't know if you remember that, but there were rumors like it was coming back. And so for the first time, I set up fire pits, like the solo stoves,
Yep.
and the big what do you call
Towers.
it? The towers that have the
The
propane.
flames. Yep.
Yeah. And set up seating out there. And it was great because, there's so many people here that at one time, like there would be 10 people outside, then there would be, or 5 people outside and back and forth. So it worked. I'm going to do that this year, but we need to get propane. We need to carry the propane and take it off and then bring it back and then get it filled and then bring it back.
Yeah, thank God you got an 18-year-old that drives and could do all that.
Yeah, no, I'm asking you on television right now.
Yeah.
Will you help me?
You make me laugh as if I have never helped you in the past. Okay, no.
It's time for a commercial break. How do we like that, Caffeina?
I'm not helping you. I will not help you under any circumstances. Well, we got about 30 seconds to go. It's been it's good to be back. Jimmy, maybe we'll do some NFL rundown tomorrow night.
Yep.
Pick, and I know Robin's. I don't think you're here tomorrow night, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think I have some place to be.
Yeah. Anyway,
Friday night.
you've been
I'm
watching.
going to Kauai.
You've been watching The King and the Cop for Jimmy Leyritz and Robin Delory. I'm Tommy Setner. It's good to be back. we're gonna live in this 10 p.m. slot now and have a little fun before.
It's a good time.
It's a good time. Join us before you go to bed on the East Coast, and King has the rest of his night out there. But good seeing you, pal, and I'll see you tomorrow night.
All right, guys. Good seeing you.
All right.